Spider-Man had an incredible 2018 between his appearance in Infinity War, the unexpectedly excellent Into the Spider-Verse, and of course, Insomniac's video game turn. The City That Never Sleeps Season Pass has also provided some solid DLC that does a good job of tying up most loose-end narratives from the base game while serving Spidey fans extra special new treats. And Silver Lining certainly takes things in a direction that opens up intriguing possibilities for the inevitable sequel that will have you more hyped than you already were. Now please be aware this review will contain some spoilers for Marvel's Spider-Man and The City That Never Sleeps due to plot links, so if you've not finished the game or the previous DLC yet, please stop watching this video now. So Silver Lining takes place almost immediately following the events of Turf Wars. We left things off with Yuri putting a bullet in Hammerhead's head, which on the surface seemed to kill him, but we find out this leads to Yuri's expulsion from the police force, but as we also find out, unfortunately for Yuri, the resilient assailant still has a few more tricks up his Sabertech sewn sleeve. However, Hammerhead's use of Sabertech throughout the DLC has caught the eye of Silver Sable herself. Sick of her technology being used for chaos and destruction, she's back to put a stop to his tyranny once and for all. Her appearance in New York City isn't quite what Spidey's expecting though. From the onset it seems their temporary alliance from the base game has become strained again, and Spidey may not have it quite as easy as he first thinks. Can they work together long enough to stop Hammerhead? Silver Lining really doesn't deviate from Turf Wars or the heist in terms of the overall structure. Hammerhead crimes are back one last time, relying on you stopping cars and punching through stable tech goons. Olympus hideouts are also pretty much identical to what you've seen before, battling through waves of foes, then sending the coordinates to a new ally who takes back the gear from the bad guys. And yep, sure enough, screwball challenges have one last go around, sticking to what we've already seen and played through before, rewarding you with skill with different metal types. If nothing else, you kind of have to admire Insomniac's tenacity in sticking to their guns across all 3 episodes. However, the new crime scene recordings offer up a really shocking and intriguing storyline thread that not only encourages you to go swinging around through the city looking for hidden clues, it will definitely keep you speculating until Spider-Man 2 drops. What is clear though is that the Silver Lining, much like the entirety of The City That Never Sleeps, plays it safe and sticks well within the guidelines set by the base game. That is no bad thing, but it's important to recognise that the narrative is the real driving force here, as it has been throughout. And the way Insomniac gradually pieced together backstories for the characters we've been introduced to throughout this journey offers well executed development in massively open world space. Silver Lining is slightly lengthier and bigger in size compared to Turf Wars, and as expected offers a climax that both caps off this entire ride while offering more questions than answers. But just like the previous 2 pieces of content, offers some really thrilling sections to really sink your teeth into. Something Insomniac have got just right though is the progressive difficulty in these contents. In the heist you spend most of the time fighting standard muggers and brawlers with a few having upgrades. Turf Wars took things up a notch with the enemies putting the powerful tech to good use, but Silver Lining is just plain brutal. You've got rockets coming in from your left, you've got enemies charging towards you from the right, hench goons and shielded folk bearing down on top of you, while other enemies fight from range using electronically charged whips. Basically, if you stand still for longer than a second, you're going to get mauled. Insomniac's insistence on keeping Hammerhead the central antagonist throughout The City That Never Sleeps is surprising but interesting. Like Mr. Negative, he's not one of Spidey's more illustrious villains, but he's been really fleshed out to the point that this story told is not one that's common or familiar. However, Insomniac have smartly spliced in plenty of references even casual Spidey fans will pick up on, and they really do strongly hint at the direction they're heading in for the sequel. While Silver Lining is certainly a concluding arc to this chapter of game development, it never feels like an ending. Much of its over-familiarity will wane on you, but it's clear there's much more to come from this franchise. Even though Silver Lining has plenty of optional extras to mop up once the final credits roll, it's hard not to be more excited about the future, and in that, the DLC has served its purpose perfectly. So to summarise on the pro side, it's a satisfying conclusion to this story arc, the characters are fleshed out and there's lots to speculate on for the future, there really is a decent good chunk of content here, and the Spider-Verse suit is just great. I love it. On the cons, it is overly familiar and more of the same, and the intense difficulty is frustrating and hard for those who've taken a break between games. But we've chosen to give Marvel Spider-Man Silver Lining, the final piece of DLC in the City That Never Sleeps Season Pass, an 8 out of 10. And that's that. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. And if you've enjoyed the content, please let us know in the comment section below. We're hoping to do a full Season Pass roundup of this as well, so you can see whether the Season Pass is worth picking up. See you next time.
That was awesome! High five!